Hare Krishna. I am Malini Devi Dasi in the service of my spiritual master A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. This video is meant for my family, friends, colleagues and contacts. What is the psychology of learning? Many people say that whatever knowledge I have, I gathered it from my parents or from my teachers, or I was taught by some person who came into my life. Well, to a great extent it's true. But let's find out from a different perspectives that what actually is the psychology of learning. Have you ever wondered, when did you actually start learning language? Many people answer to this question as, I started learning language, I think, when I came to this world and I started talking. I heard my mom or my mother taught me this language, my father taught me that language, or my teacher taught me some foreign language. While all these answers are true, if you try to gauge and if you go a little bit into your past, nobody actually taught the grammar of your mother tongue. That is the language that you mostly use in your day-to-day life, at home, when you are with your family members, with your friends. That is a language that you are comfortable in. Why? The answer is that you didn't learn language when you came to this planet Earth physically, but actually you learned it when you were in your mother's womb. Whatever she heard, whatever she spoke, whatever she did, all that knowledge you were experiencing. Even though the physical features were not developed, yet you were experiencing all this knowledge. That is why, and it is not true only for language learning, it is true for all other types of knowledge. It may be language, it may be some skill, it may be some sort of art, it could be anything. Which is why sometimes we lay so much of great emphasis that when a woman carries a soul in herself, she has to be extremely careful with her activities. And this also takes us to a higher level of acquiring knowledge. And for that we have to understand that we are souls and not these bodies. So even the psychology of learning relates so much with the very fundamental philosophy of Krishna consciousness, that is, we are souls and not these bodies. So solely because we are souls, and when we reside in our mother's womb, though our ears, our heart, our whole physical structure is not so developed, yet from day one, as soon as we are conceived into that space, we start experiencing what the mother experiences. And which is why we become so much more knowledgeable in many more things. It is just that when a child comes to this world, he or she is not able to speak properly initially. So and you would also wonder that there is a small infant in front of you, and you say, "Hello, Hare Krishna, how are you doing?" So the child may actually not be able to respond in words like we do, but the child would move its hands or legs in ecstasy, in excitement, and we come to know that the child is understanding our language. So the knowledge actually resides with the soul. And we also have to understand this, that souls are neither born nor destroyed. We are eternal souls. So we just transmigrate from one space to another. So the knowledge that a particular soul carries, it's not of this birth or not after coming to this planet physically, only in this lifetime, but the knowledge of a soul is of many births that it had already taken in different bodies and different spaces and different time zones. So the only thing is, by the Lord's design, most of the experiences and much of the memory of a soul is subdued. Because if we have all that knowledge of our past lives, we will go crazy, because we cannot manage many of the memories of this life itself. So which is why all this happens. So how does this all relate to psychology of learning? All this background I am telling because as far as learning is concerned, or as far as communication is concerned, because learning happens mainly through communication. So there are 4 skills. People who preach and people who teach and are into the communication field would know that there are 4 basic skills: reading, writing, listening and speaking. And out of all the 4 skills, listening is the most important. And that is how a soul actually learns. That is the fundamental foundation stone of learning. Just like you learn language, one can also learn skill, so simply by listening. So in schools nowadays, what we do, we use a lot of audio visuals, we use a lot of other teaching strategies, we use a lot of materials to reinforce each and every concept to children. To a certain extent, it's okay. But we must make sure that children are taught how to sit at one place and make them listen to a lot of things, instead of showing them videos, instead of showing them too many colors, instead of showing them too many mobile objects. It's very, very essential that they sit and listen. And that was the Vedic education system, which is why, yes, definitely there is a difference. We are not as intelligent as the Vedic people. Our memories are not so great. Their memories work very great. So that is why once the Guru told, and they used to rehearse by heart, and they used to remember all the things, because even writing was not there. Which is why some of the very intelligent children or hyperactive children today, their writing is too poor. You cannot ask them to write, especially boys, because they have some sort of problem as they are growing up. With girls, you don't have so much of problem as far as writing is concerned, but most of the boys face problems in their initial stages in writing. So if the mind works too much, the child will not be interested in writing, because somewhere deep down it knows that it knows that thing. So writing is something very much related to the functioning of the mind. So all these things we must know if we really are working very genuinely and very honestly on bringing about a change in the education system. So psychology of learning is something we all must take into consideration, and then develop strategies as to how to make children sit, make children listen, so that they are able to focus better. Thank you so much for listening to me. Hare Krishna.